Hi, my name is Benny Johnson. As some of you know, I've been struggling with addiction. However, I decided to change my life and went into recovery. I started this podcast 90 Days Clean, and I want to take you along in my journey. What does lie ahead of me? Let me be frank, I do not know. Will I ever drink again? I do not know. This is how Stairway to Redemption was born. It is my search for answer in a real-time process of what is going to work for me. It is then my aspiration to help you figure out what's going to work for you. It is our journey together. Welcome to Stairway to Redemption. This week, I have the pleasure to interview two amazing ladies, Alex and Bridget, from the Sober Sallies, one of the funniest podcasts about sobriety and recovery out there. I found myself laughing out loud in public many times because of what those ladies say sometimes. But yeah, well, without further ado, I give you the Sober Sallies, Alex and Bridget. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Hi. What a nice introduction, Betty. You're making us
Yeah.
feel real ladies.
Super fancy.
It's so nice to be on the other end.
Yeah, this is awesome. We've been dying to be on your podcast. I mean, you were doing this way before us because we met you when we were kind of just coming out of the podcast closet and telling people we had this thing.
You sure? I mean, I started in November of last year. And I think I saw
Well,
you
I
guys
guess
in February of so but that's what, 4 months, 3 months after?
Yeah, okay. So just a little bit. We started the same year then.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're older than us by 4 months.
by 4 months. But you guys
we
had
don't-
already your
we don't-
community of Sober Sallies before the podcast, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
All right, so let's start with the state of the mind address. You guys know the deal, like what's going on with you. Let's start with Alex.
Just kidding. That's a callback to our podcast where Benny gave us a sound effect machine that we really needed. But anyway, my state of the mind address right now, like surface level, I'm doing pretty good. I think when you go another level down, I'm a bit spastic, but I'm being pulled in like a lot of directions. I got a lot of stuff I'm excited about and also, some like a little bit concerned about, but I'm always able to bring myself back down to earth because I remember that the Alex who was drinking and using had literally nothing going on. So I'm in sort of a state of like high. I feel kind of like a hummingbird, like going real fast, but in a state of it's pretty blissful right now. Actually, I'm pretty happy with everything that's going on now that I think about it today in this moment.
That's good. That's good. Glad to hear. What about you, Bridget?
I'm fucking sick. I'm on vacation, and that's fucking bullshit.
Bridget's fine when she's on medication.
Yeah, I'm on 600 milligrams of ibuprofen like a thug. No, I'm unwell generally. I was in Germany for 6 weeks, and then I was in New York for 2 weeks with Alex, living with my BFF, which was incredible.
Nice.
And then I went home to Wisconsin for a week, and that was okay. But basically, I'm homeless and unemployed. And that's pretty stressful. I mean, admittedly, my boyfriend and I are staying in a gorgeous apartment. I'm homeless in the way that I don't have the address. I am in a beautiful apartment in Bozeman, Montana, and super grateful. We woke up, went for a hike, even though I feel like garbage. And like, that's not something I would have ever thought to do. I've been smoking a lot of cigarettes, which I also think has to do with getting me sick. But hashtag worth it. But yeah, I'm a mess, Benny. But I'm fucking happy to be here, man.
Oh my god.
You?
This is what I
Am I
love, you
best?
guys. Like she's like, I'm homeless, but I cannot stop laughing. I'm not laughing at it, but it's just her demeanor, how like she's like, yeah, I'm on fire, but I'm fine, like I'm just
Everything's
going with the flow.
fine.
Yeah, I'm just going with the flow.
Hell yeah. That's
Oh
why
my
we love
god.
her.
Yeah, I know, right?
Imagine what I was like when I was drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, very interesting. That's what I want to go next with. Yeah, with Bridget, with you. Let's start with you. So quick individual story, like how did you become to the end up in the recovery world? Like what happened?
Sorry, I just bit into an apple. I one second, I'm a dirtbag. ASMR. Okay, so
Num num num.
how I got in was Alex, who is here. I
Hi.
come from a long line of heavy drinkers from Wisconsin and the Midwest. And I followed the great tradition of being a heavy drinker. But I'm a binge drinker. I'm a party drinker. That party just started being most of the days of the week, and I had a lot of mental health and depression issues for a long time. And my therapist always told me for like 5 years that I should go to AA. And I was like, alcohol is not the problem. The problem is everyone else in my life and everything else in my life. It's definitely not alcohol's fault. And then, my life was falling apart. I dated an alcoholic, like a hardcore guy. And that, to relate to him, to connect with him, I started drinking even more. And then when we broke up, I was drinking even more. And then I randomly got a job teaching at a university in Taiwan, teaching acting. Alex and I met in acting school.
Oh, okay.
And when at Boston University, hey, what up, my trauma bond? And so anyway, I wound up in Taiwan. And because I had a purpose and a reason and I fell in love with teaching and all these things instead of just being like hating myself and wanting to die all the time in LA because my career wasn't happening. So I'm drinking, but then I'm not able to like really have any fucking career because I'm so fucked up all the time. Like it was just an endless cycle. So in Taiwan, I had this thing that was really positive, and like I started like really seeing my value of being able to help people using this thing, acting, which had become so painful. And I wasn't drinking except for on the weekend, but my two guy friends were 23 years old. So I was drinking like a fucking dumbass dude on the weekend. Like I threw up during one of my students' finals. I puked in a squat toilet and all the vomit splashed back on. If you've never puked in a squat toilet, I don't recommend it. I've puked a lot. I'm a puker. Anyway,
Oh my god.
so I fell in love with teaching, and then I was like, oh word, I'll go to school so I can teach in America. I'll get my master's in theater education. Came back, and I knew I had been wanting to quit drinking. I had started to realize that maybe Cindy was right and alcohol was like holding me back because I found this job I love. Everything's going well. And the only thing that sucks is I keep puking. And like fucking sex has always been a little bit of a friend. Like I've always been a bit of a
Yes.
sex addict. But yeah, so I was
Sex
getting
addict.
into it. Definitely had a pelvic infection and like gonorrhea twice in 1 month. I fucked a
Whoa.
homeless dude in the Philippines. But anyway,
Okay.
it was either him or I think it was probably more likely the X Games gold medalist wakeboarder who stuck his thumb at my butt and then goes, "Oops, made your bum bleed." Anyway, I was getting myself in some pretty dangerous situations.
The real X Games.
Yeah, yeah, and
Sex games.
sex games, slut, or as my boyfriend calls me, a little slut. But yeah, Anyway, I came back to America and I finally decided alcohol was the problem, one of many problems. But I came back and Alex and I reunited after 10 years of us both being total crazy bitches for 10 years
yeah.
separately. And it was funny because this is my best friend who introduced me to a lot of things in college that I eventually had to stop doing.
Somebody's got to do it.
But she taught me how to go into AA, and I went, and I liked it. I liked seeing people that were more fucked up than me, which is a terrible thing too, because like in a way, it's just like, nah, I'm not that bad. But then I found a group. We found a group in Greenpoint that was a women's group, and I started hearing stories really similar to mine, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, like hearing how their lives are now sober, where I was like, oh my God, yeah, that sounds awesome. And so I got a year and 7 months my first time. I didn't really use AA. Alex was my ostensibly she was my sponsor and my support.
Mm-hmm.
And we've grown our friendship in a way where, it's tighter than it ever was when we were using. But man, we had fun.
Oh yeah.
But and now I mean, she's my sister, she's my hero, she saved my life. I say that a lot. And we started Sober Sallies. I got back into drinking for a minute there. I called it vacation sober, so if I left the country I could drink, and then it started being I could go to another borough and drink. I was like, well, I live in Brooklyn, but I'm in Manhattan. I'm on vacation.
It took a long time to get here.
15-minute subway ride. But yeah, so anyway, I got sober again, and right now I have 10 months. And
Nice.
yeah, I've been on vacation. I've gone to my hometown bar. My boyfriend drinks. He's German. But yeah, but he's very supportive, and now, yeah, I'm here. I'm homeless and I'm sober.
Oh man. Oh, what a beautiful story. There is so much to unpack there. Oh my God. That's awesome. All right, Alex, do you want to try to interrupt that or
To follow Bridget? Oh, my great joy in life is trying to follow Bridget. I just want to say first too that it's really, really, really good to hear you tell your story, Bridget. Like we talk so much, like you don't really like tell your story to your best friend because you guys we're there for it. But like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I can just tell from like the year of the 2 or 3 years you've been sober, Bridge, you've like condensed you figured it out. You like really nailed your story. It's just really inspirational.
Oh, I love you, baby. I wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Benny, get a room for us.
Yeah,
Just
Benny,
kidding.
we're gonna, as my boyfriend says, scissor fight.
Wait, what?
There's a German word, how when we say girls fuck, it's like scissoring. In German, it's called Scherenkampf, and it means scissor fighting. And I think that's really funny.
Oh yeah, Kampf is fight in German, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. We know that. Wow. So
Alex.
Alex. Thanks, Benny. So just last week I celebrated 7 years of being alcohol free. So yeah, thank you so much. It was not a linear journey, as we all are, we talk about. I think all of us, 3 of us have anyway. Yeah, I went to acting school. I was really like successful in school. Acting school doesn't have grades. It's just like how much people like you, and like people liked me. So I did really well. And I based a lot of my self-worth on like the way people felt about me. I'm
Mhm.
realizing now too. So I also just like never wanted the party to stop. Like I loved college, and then I got a pretty good job with a touring company right after school, but I got like into a really bad relationship because I have daddy issues, and I wanted the drama of school. I think I just like wanted some shit that was I was just mistaking chaos for like life engagement. But at the time, I was just like partying, and that looked like drinking every night. Like I drank every night of college, and then I drank every day for the next 7 years in some capacity. I had really bad hangovers from the beginning, and when I figured out you could day drink, and it was like cute as like a 20 something to just like have a Bloody Mary, I did that. I did that a lot. And then I graduated to martinis, and then I don't know if you call it graduating, but I just moved to straight vodka in a bottle in my purse.
No way.
And oh yeah, the bottom level shit too, like nips of whatever flavor was on sale in that bucket at the end of the liquor store checkout, or like yeah, it was a weird it's so weird how it progressed. I
Sounds
swear
fiscally
it was
responsible to me.
yeah, martinis are so fucking expensive, but I mean, I was spending all my money on alcohol. So anyway, it was like 7 years of after that acting job ended, I spit myself out in New York City, and it just like ate me alive. So I moved across the country, but I followed myself and terrorized myself. I got addicted to uppers, Adderall, and stuff because I just wanted to keep drinking and feeling good. And then when my Adderall prescription ran out, I just got like another one from another doctor. It's so easy. When I realized that adults can just have whatever they want, I was like, oh, sick. And I was getting really, really sick. I was like literally physically getting sick all the time with stuff that like alcoholics get. But I was like, yeah, I'm just partying. And I just kind of rode myself into the ground and oh yeah, then I got addicted to meth.
Oof.
I mean, I was just addicted to anything that would get me up. And in Seattle, I found methamphetamine, and it's crazy, y'all. I can't, I was just a nice girl who went to Catholic school in Ogden, Utah. And like, fast forward, and I was like smoking crystal meth out of a pipe in somebody's nice apartment. But like, like Bridget said,
Yeah, it's important to
it
say.
wasn't like,
Yeah, it was not in like in a
yeah, I
shack
wasn't
or
in a
like yeah,
crack den.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was like in a really nice neighborhood of West Seattle. Um, but
You're
eventually,
like the modern Kurt Cobain.
oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah. I never made as good a music as him though. And I moved home. I realized just right around that time I used the meth for like, I don't know, some months, and I realized it was like not going to work. I thankfully had a moment where I was like, and the ability to just go the fuck home. I had nothing going on. So sorry, I'll wrap this up soon. But basically, I went home to Utah, kept drinking because I was like, I'll just drink beer and everything will be fine. And then, like, eventually I was like snorting Sudafed and like making out with this really fat drug dealer so I could do his like horrible cocaine, and like letting him make out with me in front of my mom's house in his car. Oh my God, even Bridget's making a face right now. That's like a recovered memory I just had.
Jeez.
I just deluded myself into being like, maybe I can be like the girl who's with the like super fat drug dealer, and that'll be cool. What the fuck? So anyway, a few days later, something like a miracle happened, and I didn't want to drink anymore. I think I physically couldn't, and I powered through. And then every day since then, I've gotten a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I kept using cocaine for a while and then realized I was substituting it for alcohol. So I hard body raw dogged cocaine, which sucks without alcohol, as I think all of us know. But I did it anyway, and then it was a process of shedding, and I
Mm-hmm.
stopped cocaine five years ago in January, and now I like work at a non-alcoholic bottle shop. I have a sober women's group. I'm friends with people like you, Benny, who I met at like a sobriety event. Life is fucking nuts.
That's awesome. Oh my God. You guys are so, we need to, I mean, we hang out like 2 weekends ago or 3 weekends ago at your place, Alex.
Yeah, that
You
was
know,
great.
we need to hang out again. I need to hear your stories. Like, you guys have some bodies buried. I don't, just need like, it's just too funny. Yeah, thank you for, the sharing your stories. Alex, you have relationship, you still smoke weed, right? If I'm correct.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how is that work for you? Like smoking weed, why is it your relationship with, you know, I believe me personally, and okay, so I understand why the word sober might be reserved to the people who suffer from addiction because, if they cut everything out, I guess they earn it, to call themselves sober.
Sure.
But me personally, the people who smoke weed and are, abstinent of anything else should be included in that set. What's your personal opinion on that matter?
Mm, thank you for asking. This is like it's a big point of my sobriety, or sort of a point of friction for me, because
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of respect for people who cut it all out, as you say. I think that would be very fucking hard. I love weed. I think it's considered harm reduction is now sort of the recovery term for what I'm doing, which is like people are saying it's a valid form of recovery
Mm-hmm.
to do something less harmful to your life. Um, the AA tenet that I always checked in with that has worked for me every day has been, is my life unmanageable because of this substance? And the answer was always yes with alcohol. It was just like beyond unmanageable. There was no life to manage. Um, and with weed, I've been able to have what sobriety sort of promised me and more. And I am definitely, I'm not going to fuck with people. Like, I think I'm probably addicted to weed mentally. I
Yeah.
smoke every day. I love it. I'm okay with it, I
Yeah.
guess is my point. Like,
Yeah.
when I don't have it, I think about it. It doesn't fuck me up. I don't go into like shaking withdrawals or have
Yeah.
seizures or fucking hallucinations that people are coming to kill me like I had from alcohol, which is fucked up. Um, so I'm just kind of choosing, and I know now every day I walk through life, it is a, it is not easy for me to not have a drink and not do uppers. I would love to do those things even now, and I'm really happy with where I'm at in my sobriety and my life in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think because I am actively not doing these things that I really want to do, I'm sober. And because of the way I live my life, I think you got to have a program, because now I'm seeing a lot of people who are like sober on Instagram, but they've never actually done any like kind of personal inventory or like looking. They're just like, I'm better now. And now I have all this attention. And it's like a weird thing. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah, but I'm kind of in the closet on social about smoking weed because it's not right for everybody. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people, and you have to figure it out yourself. And I don't feel qualified to tell people that.
I understand perfectly where you come from, but like my argument is if we were to follow that logic, then people who are sober and smoke cigarettes are addicted to nicotine. Should they call themselves sober? Like, and when it comes to harm reduction, weed is
If
less
you start
harmful
saying
than
people can't smoke cigarettes that are sober, then you're
I mean-
losing the entire fucking podcast.
Yo, what?
One fucking sober person in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. Oh no, man. They're like smoke like chimneys. I think I smoke. I had the.
Yes.
I never got the cigarette bug. Like I never got addicted to. Oh, Jasper.
That was Jasper, guys.
That was
Special
Jasper.
guest. Sorry. Oh my gosh, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, like an argument could be made that people who are addicted to nicotine to cigarettes are not sober, but that's not the case. I believe at one point weed will be normalized enough that it would not bother anyone to call themselves sober, even if they they smoke weed. It's a work in progress. I think because like in the world of AA and sobriety and recovery, the old timers are holding on. They're like, oh, like government.
Yeah, they are.
And they're loud. So
Yes.
let's wait a couple years. They're all going to be gone, and there's going to be
so funny.
they're all going to be gone, and there's going to be a new take on it. So I'm not worried about that.
But I do want to say, like,
Mm-hmm.
Alex is a high functioning stoner. There are a lot. There are many, many, many people like me. Like weed, honestly, it triggers a lot of my suicidal ideation, my anxiety, and my depression. If I smoke weed, like I do not function. There are certain people like Alex or other people I know. I had a boyfriend who had like a really bad stutter. He smokes weed every single day. He's an engineer. It takes his stutter away. It makes him more confident. It makes his life easier. If something makes your life better or functional, then I think that's great. I think like Alex said, if you're able to live your life every day, then fuck yeah, you're whatever you want to call it, it is what it is. It's something that helps you. But like, I know for me and many people as well, like weed isn't. And it's just like, I think that's also a part of being sober is like being sober enough of mind that you know what helps you and what doesn't. I am sober enough of mind to know that if I drink, I cannot. It's a slippery slope, especially with my mental health. It's like drugs too, or sex for me. Any of my addictions, if I am in a bad place, I can't do it. Drinking, I can let that get away, so I can escape. It's an escape hatch for me, It's like, but weed used to be that for me when I was young. I used to do that because I thought I was feeling really deeply. I thought like being so dark was like just who I was, it was very dangerous for me too, like I don't do anything, but I know that weed is something that really benefits Alex's life. It's just knowing and being, like I said, being sober enough of mind to know what benefits you and what doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. Because like once I totally agree with you, like it's about knowing that what you're using is not a crutch. From the moment it's not a crutch, it's helping you. Go ahead. That's why I agree. That's why I consider people who still smoke weed sober, because they're using it, they're using it for their mental health. It's not a crutch. They're not trying to use it to escape like some reality they're facing. But yeah. Bridget, let's ask you a question. So Bridget, you've been traveling. You travel quite a lot too, right? And you have that that page, Instagram, Bridget on a budget, that I like, by the way.
Bridget's on a budget.
What's your process like?
Bridget's on a budget.
Bridget, what's your process like when you go to like visit a new country and you still need to stay sober? Like, do you have a process where you get yourself into a mental place, like, or go with the flow? What is it like to travel the world, stay sober?
Well, this is my first summer I was really dedicated to it, but I will tell you what I did the first summer before I slipped.
Yeah.
So I was sober. I went to Nicaragua in 2021. That's where I met my partner. And I was a year and 7 months sober when I went. So what I did before I went, which was very responsible, I looked up AA groups. It was bumfuck Nicaragua, like in the middle of nowhere, but I found an AA group. Like there's a group everywhere, just in case, to know where I could go. And I do this wherever I go. I have the app forget what the app is called. I can
Meeting Finder.
but I have
Meeting Finder, yeah.
yes. Meeting Finder is great. Meeting Guide is what I use. Meeting Guide.
Oh, cool.
So when I use that, I'm able to type in anywhere in the world I'm at, and I'm able to find a group. For me, I went to a group in Nicaragua. It was awesome. They had homemade ice cream. It was someone's birthday.
Oh my
it was great. And
gosh.
it was a lot of people that do the same thing I do, where we travel the world and like had similar stories of like a big part about traveling and meeting new people is drinking is the root of it for most people. I mean, it's the thing that helps people connect. But yeah, so I did that for extra insurance. I did that before I went to Germany this summer. I kind of look for meetings, even if I don't go, which I haven't probably since that meeting, I haven't gone, but like it's just a good insurance. First, for me, it's just knowing there's other sober people around.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only
Yeah.
one.
I love
that
that.
really helps me. And just to be
Oh,
like,
thank God there's fuck ups here too.
yeah, and also just being like, it's not weird. I'm not the only one. I'm not. And like,
Yeah.
you know, it was funny. Like that night, actually, this is the night I met my boyfriend. Oh my God, that's so funny. Anyway, I'm realizing that right now. But that night, I went to this bar after to get a burger, and this other guy from AA was there, and I was like, "Can I sit with you?" And we chatted, and he lived there. And then after that, like I saw my fine ass boyfriend and picked him up with a Coca-Cola. But you know, my first time going to a bar in Nicaragua was really hard. I had come out of COVID. I hadn't been to a bar since COVID. And it was 2021, so we're still in COVID. And like I was like, it felt really overwhelming. It felt like I was really it would have been so much easier to drink. And then eventually I did. But you know, but for me, outside of that, since I had slipped, and then last summer I was drinking when I was abroad, and it was just out of control. It got out of control really fast. And like when you're abroad, it's a lot cheaper to fucking drink, which, you know, for my mind means I should drink twice as much.
Yeah.
If it's half off. What my dad and I came up with a thing in San Diego once at a 50% off margarita night, that if it's 50% off, it means you get to have twice as many.
Sounds
whatever,
logic.
that's normal.
It's funny.
Family. But like, yeah, but then this summer in Germany, I was way more. My boyfriend has always been supportive, but I think I wasn't so confident that he could. Who would want someone that doesn't drink? Which is such a stupid thing that I've conquered in so many other aspects of my life. But it's so hard. And like I've been with him on and off for 2 years, and like we're in a really good place now. And like in Germany, like he, you know, it's illegal to not have alcohol-free beer in bars. So I literally was drinking like non-alcoholic Hefeweizen on tap. And like, I don't know, people don't really talk about sobriety, but like no one fucking even thinks about it. I didn't have one person question me the whole time I was there. When I was in bumfuck Hungary, and like also, you know, this is something we can talk about more, however you want to talk about it, Benny, but Alex and I do drink alcohol-free drinks. Like alcohol-free beers and stuff. Yeah, it was great. It was very easy. And like I'm just getting more and more confident that like I really if you're on the fucking Slovakian border of Hungary in a town of like 800 people and you can find like alcohol-free beer, like I don't know, it's only getting I think we are in a time where it's only getting easier no matter where I go in the world. And like that's something I'm really excited about. And like I just so I guess what I mean is like I looked up all those things before I went to since I drink non-alcoholic things, I looked up in Germany, what are the best things? Where can I get them? Can I have them delivered to my boyfriend's house? Where are the meetings? There's plenty of English meetings. But also like if it's not an English meeting, what a cool experience to be able to go to a non-English speaking meeting, you know?
Yeah.
And also looking up other activities. I'm able to accomplish so much fucking more in a day. I'm gonna go on a walk. Alex is the queen of this. Walking tour. Go on a free walking tour.
Yeah.
I love to go to museums. I love to do these things and like just see what's available in the day. Yeah, and like literally, friends, there's a lot of things available in the daytime. I had no idea.
Wow.
I was always a quote unquote night owl, which meant once my hangover ended and I was able to function again. You know, it's like there's a lot to do before 10 p.m.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love museums too, you know, like yeah, I found museums peaceful, yeah.
Yeah, very.
Before we move
I
on,
love it.
really quick, Bridget, before we move on, if it's not too personal, do you remember the mindset you were in before you slept? Like what was going on?
I just was like I was sitting next door at my buddies. These two French guys had their own hostel and they were making their own rum. And I was like, I mean, they're infusing their own rum. I gotta try that out. And I was sitting next to this guy and I was like, give me a sip of that. And he did. The French guys were really riding me about not drinking. The French, they couldn't understand. I mean, Benny, that's your first language. I'm sure you know.
I know. But yeah. They
do not understand. And they also smell a little funny. Just kidding. But anyway, I drank a little, and then that night we went to a place, and I was like, and literally, I had told everyone, this is COVID in bumfuck Nicaragua on the ocean. There's like maybe 50 expats there or travelers like me. I told every single one of them, I'm sober. And then like one night I'm like, can I have a glass of wine? And the guy's like, what? It's fine. And then I like had a glass of wine. And then the next day I was like, fine. You know, I mean, I think I didn't drink every single day, but I did start drinking. And then I got back to America and stopped, which is like a little bit of what it's a very lucky thing once you quit. And Benny, I know you've experienced this too, of like, I don't know how it was for you, but for me, when I slipped and like, I wasn't drinking full time at all when I stopped, which is very lucky. I'm very, very lucky that that's my case. When I, I've mostly been sober since November 2019. I've mostly been sober. I've been sober in a row. Like the only times I really counted have been these longer stretches, but like I was going months without drinking in between. Which is great. But like once I slipped, I was really scared that I wouldn't be able to stop again. Oh, okay. And then I did stop.
That's awesome.
And then I realized, like I know how to do this. And right now, I don't know, you know, like all of us, I don't know if I'm ever going to drink again.
Yeah.
It's probably more likely that I will drink again than Alex will drink again.
Yep.
But like, I also can be confident that like, no matter what, these skills, this time, it doesn't go away. It's there. It's mine. There. I know how to do this. I know how to do this, and I'm fucking good at not doing it.
Yeah. I love your attitude to the alcohol, like what you just said. Like the likelihood is that I'm gonna drink again, but I have the tools to come back to that balanced state I am in right now, and that's what I'm looking for. Also, I'm not of those who believe that, you know, a little thing. I want your opinion on this. So the past weekend, I was the speaker at my good friend's Rich. He was the guest on the previous episode. He helped me on the podcast, his anniversary. And beautiful, like, you know, at a so the story basically, I focused my speech on him, the dynamic between us, stoicism and who you need to get in your team, right? And everybody loved it, right? Then at the end of the of the meeting, there's one old timer. He comes to me. He's like, "Yeah, man, I like your speech, but one suggestion: you should start with your first drink. What was your first drink?" And I'm like, "Bro, it was not about me. It was about my friend." And then he went to him and he was like, "Yeah, you should start with your first drink, And I'm like, and he's like, "Yeah, man." First, he asked me how much time I had, right? I told him like I'm sober since March. I mean, I've been in recovery for longer than that, but like my sleep was March 3rd, so March 4th since then was the last time I drink alcohol. And I was like, do the math yourself, because me personally, I don't count. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sober 48 years and I still go to 8 meetings a week." And I'm like, whoa. Like, it took all my resolve not to snap at that old man and be like, "Yeah." And he's like, "My name is," and he had a necklace around him. And I'm like, okay, I see. He's one of those old timers who strut around with their day count, who like wants to go in a room for people to pay respect to them and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I cannot stand that. I cannot stand that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's something, Benny, you and I talked about the other day, where it's like, I always say, like, at the end of the day, the least interesting thing about me is I don't drink. I mean, it's great. I love that I don't drink. It's awesome, but it's like, it's not my identity. And I think that it's if you choose for that to be your identity, cool. But like, I mean, I would rather have a big full life than sit in a folding chair 8 times a week, because my back is a piece of shit. I'm 33,
She's old.
Hey, I'm 33 too. Come on, I'm not old.
Benny works out. My body is a garbage can. But
you went on a hike.
Yeah, I went on a hike this morning. I'm better than everybody. But yeah, I mean, it's like a thing. I don't know, Alex. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I hate that happened to you, Benny, because one, asking how much time you have it gives zero context. Like, that guy thinks he can sum you up when like he has no idea that you have like literally a backlog of podcasts worth of like recovery and experience and time. Yeah, I think it's really alienating, and it makes me think that I just always want to remember to listen to the younger people in the room. No matter how old I get and no matter what room I'm in. I mean, they can also shut the fuck up and listen to their elders, but like, I think we have to listen to each other because times change. And like, I think everyone has to remember that recovery, people are the way they are about recovery because it is inextricable from their very life. They would not have their life if they did not have the recovery the way they had it. And a lot of people, I don't know, I didn't know a lot of these people until I did AA in Utah, but like people who really were gonna die, or like something really bad was gonna happen or had happened. And now people are checking in with themselves way before those points. And so there's a mismatch. They get into the rooms and they're like, this doesn't apply to me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? And then the asking about time just compounds that felony. It's like, what do you mean time? I'm just trying to be better today. Today. So
but
then, I also
go ahead, finish. Yep. Sorry.
I'm obsessed with my own day. It's okay. It's just I'm also obsessed with my own day count. So it's like whatever. Everything I said.
I found the perfect answer for those guys. I say I have one day, and they're like, "What?" I said 1 day. There we go. Boom. Take that.
That's it. Shuts them up. Shuts them up.
All right. Next question. I want your.
You guys, today I have 303 days.
Ooh, the 303.
And
303.
tomorrow in 19 hours I have 10 months.
Nice.
Wow,
I
babe.
got a nap for that.
Hey, so yeah, the next question, I wanted your take on the sober movement nowadays. You guys, Alex, you said like a little bit earlier that you find it weird the people who are just stop alcohol but didn't do the inventory of themselves, popping off on the IG, sober IG. What are the
I'd be interested to hear after Alex speaks. I'd be interested to hear what your opinion is, Benny, about this as well.
What so what are the goods that do you like to see in the sober movement, maybe on Instagram or somewhere else? What are the pet peeve that you found yourself hating?
I'll start with the good. The good is that people are like, I think it's recovering out loud, and like nobody is ashamed of their mental illness anymore, which is pretty cool. I think like a little bit of shame is neat, but that's just because I'm like a recovered Catholic as well. And I think it makes you funny. But yeah, I think like basically it seems like everybody's dealing with something now, and it's not that weird. We talk about therapy, we talk about all this stuff. That's amazing. What's not amazing is that it's an echo chamber, and something that I really got out of AA and that I get out of Sober Sallies is like community and listening. You don't have to listen on Instagram, but it is really, really important to listen to other addicts, alcoholics, and people's in recovery stories. And instead of just posting about your own all the fucking time, it's like, it's just weird. And then you get really self-centered. I'm seeing just a lot of it feels kind of self-centered and one-noted.
Yeah. Like
there's like nothing cool about out sobering someone.
Yeah.
Like I would rather like it's just like it's just like virtue signaling,
Yes,
which
it is.
just always
yes.
And it's like, oh man, like I mean, I don't get me wrong, I'm trying to do social media in order to keep us, relevant, which is annoying. But
which
like,
are you good at, by the way? You great at it.
Thank you. Oh, Benny.
Bridget's the master.
Slut. Thank you. But like it's but like she said, and like I love what you do, Benny, like the Daily Stoic I think is really unique, and like it's something that like someone once again can listen to. What all I care about is people in the community being nice to each other. And making sure that like there's space for everybody, and like you are not better than anybody else. I am like with our pod, we do not sobriety is whatever the fuck you call sobriety. I'm not here to tell you you're right or wrong. I'm here to like have a good time and tell some fucking war stories, and like
sorry, just that
I think also I like a real addict, I want someone that really fucked up.
Yeah.
The good stories. No, I'm kidding.
Go ahead again, Alex. Yep.
Sorry, just that we can be, I think you can learn something from every person who's willing to open up about their experience. Like, especially in AA, they say the newcomer, but like, I mean that in any version of anything. I think that's where it is. A lot of people think, I have a certain amount of followers now, I'm the authority, and I no longer need to learn anything about this ever-changing lifestyle.
Yeah, I encourage those people to relapse so they have something new to talk about.
Oh, shit. Here she is. Here she is.
Gloves are off!
Oh, yeah, the gloves off.
I'm kidding. Please don't. And I think, like I said, I think there's love and space for everyone. It's just like, this is not, for me, for us, I'll only speak for me. I don't want any clout. I don't want anything like I would rather you like just hanging out and talking about it and being silly or being serious or whatever. But like, you know, just be honest and like Alex said, just listen. There's space for everyone. Everyone deserves kindness, no matter how they get to their version of sobriety. Everyone deserves kindness. And like this is not this way of being open about mental health and addiction and things. It's new. So let's
new.
be
Right.
kind to each other.
Yeah.
Let's be kind. And let's also say that there's space for everyone. There's
Yeah.
not it's I worry about capitalizing on this. I don't think people's health it's health, it's safety,
Right.
it's things that these are things that are the basis of Maslow's hierarchy. Like
Right.
these are not like things that I hope that people can also remember that, like, you know, it's human, the human connection and support should be number one.
Yeah.
If we have someone come on and want to support the podcast or sponsor us, fuck yeah, that's great, whatever. But like for us, and I know for you, Benny, being someone that another person when they are in a place of fear or self-harm and knowing that they can come to us and say something, or say like they're struggling in their relationship and something's unhealthy, or their addiction, I would much rather be wealthy in community and in people that I can reach out to than like just like you know, I don't know. I don't really want to talk shit about anybody. I was being snotty because I just don't like when they come for my friend. But
Yeah.
which today there was a little something, but I just like want to say, like, if there's space for every single person. So be kind. Be kind and don't it's money is dope, but like this is not gonna be your fucking gold mine, kids.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how what we're talking about is like emotional sobriety, I think. And like that it's so, I remember people talking about that when I was like early days, and I was like, shut the fuck up. Like I am just trying not to drink and get fucked up. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I don't care about how I act. And then I started to feel better and do like a lot of what we've talked about. And I'm struggling with everything we're talking about too. But it's like cool that it's a new level of struggle.
But yeah, also like my take, since you asked me earlier on this, I'm a little bit upset on the discrepancy, like, you know, going back to virtue signaling. I think there's a lot of virtue signaling about mental health, you know, like inspirational quote galore and stuff. And then you have people who die, like, you know, celebrities, like for example, Angus, forgot his last name, from Euphoria. You have Sinead O'Connor, the singer.
Angus Cloud.
Angus Cloud, yeah. And like when they pass away, people are like, oh, you know, rest in peace, gone too young, gone too soon. There is a huge rift for me between the glamorization of somebody who passed away from addiction and when they were struggling. When they were struggling, when people are struggling, nobody wants to help them. They are sore to everybody else because sure, they, you know,
goddamn, yeah,
they steal, they lie, you know, they're hard to handle, but nobody talks about my friend is struggling right now, you know, like I'm gonna be here for them. It's always when it's too late that people are like, oh yeah, you know, for example, man, my two friends who call my mom, I'm mad at them for calling my mom. I will ever be mad at them for calling my mom, because the truth is I'm ashamed that it had to go there. And now I'm upset that when some people who were not there for me when I was struggling, keep in mind that when I was struggling, I didn't want to be helped. But those two friends didn't care if I wanted to be helped. They helped me anyway. And having the people who talk about my struggle, like I'm like, bitch, where were you at when I was struggling? Like, keep it for yourself, right? So that's my issue sometimes with like the outright the outpour of like super inspirational quote and stuff like that. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of virtue signaling in the movement. People who want to make them feel like they care, but I don't see them like actually doing the work like of helping others, because we all have people in our family, right, who are like struggling with addiction, mental health, right? If you're able to post or like a post on Instagram about somebody passed away from addiction, it should make you think about the people who are struggling in your own family and reach out to them. If you don't go like,
Yes.
if you don't feel
Yes.
like that, then it's pointless. Don't like the post, like just scroll, post, like something else, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also just wanted to say quickly about like certain influencers, and I think this is in all realms, but be aware that sometimes what you're posting makes it look like your life is so beautiful and perfect now. And like things are, and like just like I was this, but now I'm this, and that, and like just be aware, like for some people, like that feels really unattainable.
Yeah.
And like it's not inspiring. I've seen that in my worst place and just be like, I'm a piece of shit that I can't do it, and why the fuck would I even try? It's like just be aware of like what you're projecting to people, and make sure it's not just about me and what I've accomplished. It needs to be opened up, like Benny's saying. This should make you think about whether it's you or whoever else in your community. I'm a lot more interested in people. I'm hoping that we continue, because I think this is the roots of this sobriety movement. But it's like, once again, just like think about who you could actually be helping, because this isn't a fucking money grab. These are people's fucking lives. People die from addiction every fucking day.
Oh yeah.
People in my family have died from addiction. People in Alex's family, everyone's family have died from this shit. It's not a filter. It's reality. This is reality.
Yeah.
Addiction filter.
Addiction filter. All right. So last question before we part
Beer
ways.
goggles.
Yeah, we hitting the hour mark. So like I wanted to talk about the Sober Sallies, how we came to be and what you guys are doing, because I remember, you have your community that you build and like you do Zoom meetings and stuff. So plug away.
Oh, thank you, Benny.
Alex, tell how it started.
Okay. I post about my sobriety anniversary, and I have a lot of really lovely women in my sphere who all not only posted, but then engaged with me during COVID. So I had all these individual messages of a lot of like femmes, not necessarily like, one type of person, reach out and say like, I'm also dealing with this or trying this or into this. Let's talk. And I was like, how about we all talk? So it started small and slowly got bigger. And like, I think we met once a week during COVID because we needed it. And it was like a really beautiful thing that sort of emerged. We were all over the country and talking about just struggling with sobriety. And that morphed into post-COVID, like in-person meetups. And then, Bridget really has just like, hell, I could not do it without her. So she got me the courage to start the podcast, and we started it. And we've been out here slinging our shit ever since.
We've been in these streets scissor fighting ever since.
Scissor fighting sobriety.
So where can we find you now? Like Instagram,
Yeah, so you can find us at Sober Sallies Podcast on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes.
We are dedicated. I think it would be dope to schedule I'll talk about all with Alex privately, but like once a month Zoom meetings for the community. But yeah, we're available there, and like we are the people who handle those accounts. we are the people that talk to you and can help you find resources if you need them in your community. A big thing for Alex and I, once again, is that sobriety is a spectrum. There's no wrong way to do it. Another thing to be aware of, friends that are influencers in this sphere. If you do sobriety one way, it's not the only way. And I think you need to open up the willingness so more people feel comfortable talking about it. Anyway, but I do want to be clear if you are a sober Sally, if you think about not drinking, you are a sober
That's
Sally.
right.
If you listen to the podcast while you're drinking, you are a sober
You are very much a sober Sally.
Yeah, you're a sober Sally. You're a sober Sally is a sober Sally. There's no right or wrong way. I wish I had a place to start the conversation. Before Alex saved my life, I could have at the very least kept a couple brain cells, but that I don't have anymore. But yeah, so you follow us at Sober Sallies Podcast. You can email us, sobersalliespodcast@gmail.com. We are the people that take care of this, and we are here for you. We also have a very fun Patreon that you can connect to on there. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts. You can follow at Bridget's on a Budget if you want to read travel writing.
Yep.
Alex is going to release a very cool book of her stories that are about dogs and sobriety. And if you like fun, Benny's our friend, and we're all gonna hang out. Maybe you can come too. We'll let you know when that happens.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we should organize
episode with
something.
these sluts.
Yeah, we're doing it. Spirited Away.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Oh, it was amazing. Thank you again, Alex and Bridget, for
Oh,
being my
I
guest.
love you, Benny.
All
I
right.
feel so lucky that we met you. Thank you for
Yeah, me
having
too.
us.
You're truly our best bud in this community, and I'm
Hell
really
yeah.
glad you
Easy
came to
with,
my
with the
going
grease
away
gun,
party.
please. Easy with the grease gun.
Hey!
Woo, blowing smoke.
All right, guys. I will see you for the conclusions. Thanks.
All right. This concludes episode 34, Sober Sallies. Thank you very much. A big thank you to Alex and Bridget for being the amazing guests of this episode. It was funny as shit, like usual. I shared the social media and the link to the podcasts, to their podcast, and also the link to the episode I'm featured on their platform. And guys, as usual, follow us on social media and support us on the Patreon page, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.